breaking news. Now, live from WAVY News 10.
Good evening. I'm Anita Blanton in the WAVY newsroom right now. Here with some breaking news. We know that you all are watching the Olympics right now, and we want to get you back to it just as soon as possible. But here locally, we do have several protests going on throughout the 757. You can see right here in Portsmouth what's going on 264 right now. This is actually protesters blocking both the on-ramp and off-ramps now to get to this side of Portsmouth from Norfolk, or to get from Portsmouth over to Norfolk. You can see them on the highway right now. This has been going on for about the last 10 minutes that they have been on the highway. You can see there are also state troopers and also police right there on the side. They have been speaking to them from time to time, but they are staying still. They're on the highway right now. These protesters here in Portsmouth that have marched to the area near the downtown tunnel and blocked the on-ramp and the off-ramp there at 264 West and then also East there at the downtown tunnel. Now, this is a part of a larger movement that has been going on throughout our area tonight. And maybe for the last 3 hours, we have seen about since 7:57, in fact, protesters in 6 of the 7 cities that have been blocking different intersections. For the most part, it's all been peaceful. For the most part, people have actually stayed off of the major roadways, but this was an effort that was planned and publicized starting yesterday with an ad speaking of different highways that would be shut down and different roadways that would be shut down today. Some of those in Hampton, also Newport News, Norfolk here in Portsmouth, also in Virginia Beach down at the ocean front. There was an earlier rally at the Mount Trashmore as well. But again, now that we've started into the evening hours, we have seen some things start to change. Again, this being more recent in the last 10 to 15 minutes that we have seen people actually go onto a major highway here in our area and block traffic in this area. There is a major backup on 264 that you need to know about as a result of this. You're only looking at the protesters right here, but if we were to zoom out when we have seen the larger view of this situation right now, there is a major backup, especially as those of you are trying to get over through the downtown tunnel over to Norfolk and to Virginia Beach, going through this area. Again, protesters blocking I-264 west if you're trying to get over into Portsmouth, or east if you're trying to get over to Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, on all of those areas. We have seen protesters in Virginia Beach down at the ocean front, Hampton. They've been on Mercury. In Newport News, they've been at Jefferson. In Norfolk, on Granby Street, right there at the federal courthouse. We've seen protesters there on the corner that have gone into the street of Granby and then kind of meandered over to the side, over on the sidewalk actually there at the courthouse. We've also seen them in Chesapeake and in Portsmouth as well. This particular protest started at I.C. Norcom High School and then began to march down High Street and go down into the downtown area. And then, as I said, in the last 10 to 15 minutes, we've seen them go from High Street on over to this area. For the most part, as they've been marching, they've had police right with them all the way from I.C. Norcom when they began shortly before 8 o'clock. And again, they still have the police there that are blocking the area, trying to speak to them, mainly to get them off of the highway just for their own safety and everyone else's convenience as well. As we said, there are so many cars that are backed up that would like to get over. Now we're starting to zoom out and you will see the backup that has been caused as a result of the protest right now and the protesters that are on I-264 West, especially for those people who are trying to get over to Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake. You can see as we zoom out that long line of traffic. Look at that. As a result of the protesters that are here at Effingham on the highway at the on-ramp of 264 going to the downtown tunnel. Folks, if you are watching this right now and you have a loved one that's maybe trying to get to you, do know that they are going to take a while. Even once they get the protesters off of the highway, still going to be a while before they're able to actually get all those cars through the downtown tunnel and back over to the opposite side. And if maybe this is an area that you would particularly go this time of evening, you definitely want to avoid it right now. You can see as far out as we zoom, you can see cars in the distance just sitting there as these protesters are here on the highway, I-264 at the downtown tunnel, blocking the on-ramp there as you would be going over from from Portsmouth on into Norfolk. Again, this is a part of a larger movement. We've seen protesters starting to gather as early as 7:57. This was all a part of a Black Lives Matter movement that was starting to publicize protest yesterday. All of this, of course, being in result and as a movement coming out of the two deaths, police-involved deadly shootings that took place this past week, that being Philando Castile in Minnesota, and also just the day before that, seeing also Alton Sterling, and that took place in Louisiana, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We also saw, of course, what happened as a result of that, the protests that happened in Dallas, then on Thursday night that did turn deadly. One of the worst for police officers in the history of our country that took place on Thursday night there in Dallas as a result of protesters coming together peacefully, but one man coming in that area. Right now we have Stephanie Harris right now on the phone. Stephanie, I know you were with these protesters from the beginning at I-264. So when did they begin to make their way to the highway here, and what have police been saying all along?
Okay, Anita, well, it was really strange, actually. So we started off at I-264, and we spoke with the organizers tonight. They talked about this peaceful rally, and it was wonderful. Everybody was marching together. They said, hey, march with us. We're going to go down High Street straight to the waterfront. Walking with them, we got a little bit ahead of them in order to get some video of the group coming toward us. And then all of a sudden, right before 9 o'clock, they turned off down another street. So we jumped in the car and tried to get around so we could meet them on the other side. We didn't know why they were changing the route. No one had mentioned anything. So we kept going around Portsmouth, getting blocked off at every turn by police cars that were coming ahead of and right behind this group. And we've been talking to police officers out here. We stopped at a stoplight and said, hey, can you help us? Do you know what route they're going to be taking now? And he just looked at us and shook his head and shook his head. He wouldn't say a word. We said, I'm sorry, sir. And he said, I'm not giving up the route, or I'm not giving out the route. So we had no idea. We jumped out of our car finally. We're out here right now at the entrance to the downtown tunnel, and there are dozens of police cars, as I'm sure you're seeing there with live pictures, blocking off, standing there with the protesters who are blocking off the entrance to the tunnel in both directions, stopping traffic. We have a couple gentlemen out here at the mouth of the tunnel, and I said, hey, didn't I see you marching with us earlier? And he just smiled and said to me, you got a real good spot here to see what's going on, because that concert's about to let out. He's speaking about the concert that's going on at Portsmouth Pavilion right now, and when all those people get out of the concert, they won't be able to go anywhere. So it is going to get interesting, I believe, here in just a few minutes. People are really paying attention out here. A couple of guys just came by to me and said, hey, we're witnessing history. They're here visiting from Richmond for the concert. And, as they mentioned to me, as long as this stays a peaceful protest, as it is now, it will be quite interesting. They're really going to be able to make a point here by shutting down traffic in all directions.
All right, thank you so much, Stephanie Harris. It has been with these protesters since shortly before 8 o'clock that all began at I-264 here for Portsmouth. Again, we've been watching this for 6 of the 7 cities, protests all going on, but as we've gotten into the evening hours, we're now seeing protesters block the on-ramp to the downtown tunnel on 264. We also have Jason Marks, who's in Hampton, who has been with the protesters there. Jason, tell us about the experience over on the opposite side on the peninsula. We've been watching that. We'll get to Jason coming up shortly as we get into, it's 9:32 right now. We have WAVY News 10 on Fox 43 that you can join us with then, and then also back here on WAVY at 11 o'clock. For now, we are continuing to watch the situation here in the newsroom and also online at wavy.com. We'll put you back to gymnastics that's going on right now.